Royals, welcome back to my channel. I'm Josette. So today I'm going to be talking about tips to grow your locks faster / ways to prevent breakage. They go hand in hand. If your hair is growing at a decent rate but breaking at the same rate, you're not going to see any length retention. So let's get into this video and all just have healthy, happy hair journeys and grow our locks to our desired goals. That's really the point of getting locks. You grow it to a certain point, that's your goal. What I'm not going to say in this video is to drink water. I think that that is the most annoying tip I've ever heard. Drinking water should be part of your daily drinking habits just for general health purposes. If you're drinking juice all day and no water, or soda all day and no water, that's not going to help anything. Like, it's just not going to benefit you at all. So drinking water is not part of my tips because that's just a general health thing. We're all adults now, drink your water. But that's not one of my tips because I don't think that's helpful at all to say drink water. I'm going to talk about things that are very specific to locks and I believe also to a loose natural hair journey. So let's get into it. Number one is find a regime that works for you and stick to it. People just use whatever is easy, or they don't want to try and find the best thing possible. I think that it's good to experiment and find products that work instead of just choosing whatever is easiest and whatever is cheapest. Find the right shampoo for your hair and the right oil. I don't recommend starting out with a bunch of products for a lock journey because less is more. Currently, I shampoo my locks with two different shampoos. Suave Daily Clarifying Shampoo and the Neutrogena Clarify and Shine. I always do two shampoos because that's when my hair is really clean. My hair is not clean after one wash, and I wash my hair once a week. So that is my routine. I definitely recommend doing two washes just to get out all the buildup and all of the oils. So I infuse my Suave Clarifying with a couple of drops of peppermint oil. I oil my scalp after wash day and I refresh my hair throughout the week with a spray bottle infused with a couple of drops of peppermint oil. That is my regime. Sometimes if my hair is feeling really dry or I feel like my edges need a little help, I'll put a little bit of castor oil on my edges and scrunch a tiny bit of my oil blend onto the lengths of my hair. But nothing crazy, nothing excessive. Number two, stick to a retightening schedule. I know the consequences of not sticking to one in the starter lock phase especially. I lost a lock. You can go watch my video, wherever it is up here, in my 5-month lock update. I lost a lock because I went, I think, up to 8 weeks not retightening, and my hair grows at a pretty fast, steady rate. So going 8 weeks, there's just a ton of growth. Plus, on top of that, I was experiencing a lot of slippage around those months, beginning months, month 4, month 5. Yeah, that's why I lost a lock, because it was probably just hanging on by a thread with no foundation or support. So stick to a retightening schedule. Tip number 3, clarify your locks at least every 6 months. Now, by clarify, I mean do something extra than your regular regime. For me, I love apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is one of my staples. I hardly used it in my first lock set, and I definitely noticed that there was a huge difference in the quality and the health of my hair compared to now. At my 6-month mark, I did an ACV rinse. You can watch that on my channel in my 6-month update. I love ACV. It softens your hair, it hydrates your hair, it cleanses it, it gets all of the buildup out. So I will be doing that every 6 months. Depending on your hair, I guess you could do it every 3 months. But I think 6 months is like the standard. But if you are putting extra products on your locks, every 3 months would be good for you. Me, I have minimal products. I don't use any creams or anything, just the oil on my scalp or on the lengths of my hair. when it was feeling dry in the winter. Now that it's getting warmer out, I don't need to put oil on my hair. It's just unnecessary for me. I get a lot of natural oils from my scalp, and it just coats, it ends up coating the lengths of my hair. So yeah, I don't need to do too much, but definitely clarify your locks and make that part of your routine every couple of months. It will make a huge difference and you won't have to deal with buildup. Number 4, don't use too many products that will lead to buildup. It goes hand in hand with the previous one. Using a lot of creams. Personally, I used it in my first lock set when I didn't know any better. Now, this is my second lock set. I want my locks to be as healthy as I possibly can. So, you do not need cream or heavy, thick products in your locks. Other people might tell you differently. I'm just giving you my advice from personal experience. You can go back on my channel and see what I have done to my locks over the years. You do not need heavy creams in your locks. They do not benefit your hair, they just weigh them down. The only products that I would say to use if you really want to try something out is a mousse, and a water-based mousse. That's the only thing that I feel like is not going to cause too much buildup, but you have to be very selective because mousses can be sticky. So you really have to be careful with that and test it out like on your hand or in your kid's hair if you have a child, just to see what the consistency is like once it dries down. Not too many products because our locks they really do not need it. It's just a fact. Tip number 5, essential oils can be extremely beneficial to your lock journey. Like I said, peppermint essential oil is my thing now. A lot of people, I think, benefit from tea tree as well. Some people use rosemary, I believe. I've heard people mention rosemary. So yeah, I have a couple of drops of rosemary in one of my oil blends. So yeah, I would say just find one that works for you. It can be really good to put a couple of drops in your spray bottle, put a couple of drops in your shampoo. Definitely important to just try out some essential oils because they do have a lot of natural benefits in them. Tip number 6, stay away from heat. I know that with smaller locks, sister locks, people say you can use a straightening iron, you can use a curling iron, you can do all these things to it, but even though your locks are locked, they're still strands of hair and they can get fried, they can get dried out, they can get damaged from heat. So there are so many ways to curl your locks, tools that are heatless. So I would definitely look into that, and your hair will overall be a lot healthier. So just look into ways to curl your hair with like flexi rods, perm rods, satin rollers, cotton rollers, braids, twists, bantu knots. There are so many ways to curl your hair that do not involve heat, so I would definitely look into that. Heat is not going to benefit your hair in any way. Look at it that way. It's going to, if anything happens, it's not going to be a good thing. It's going to be negative towards your hair. So yeah, next one, number 7, I believe. Try taking some vitamins. I know that some of us are deficient in vitamins. I tend to have low iron, so just look into, maybe go to your doctor, see what you need, do blood tests to see what your body is lacking that could contribute to your hair not growing as fast or as thick. You never know. So yeah, just try taking some vitamins. Biotin is good for hair growth. You can try iron, like I said, zinc, omega-3. Those are all good vitamins to start with, and it will only benefit you. So look into that. Easy on the dye. Now I speak to myself for this as well, because my first lock set I was obsessed with dyeing my hair, bleaching my hair, doing all these different colors. And I did do that as well with my loose natural hair journey before I locked, obviously. This is all my natural hair color. But before that, I went blonde, I went red. So I understand how fun it is to dye your hair. But if you want to have healthiest hair possible, virgin hair is the healthiest hair. I personally am not going to be dyeing my hair. I have been weighing the pros and cons in my head. I've been through all of it before. Even when you go black, it's still a chemical and your hair is not going to feel the exact same as it did before. And I actually am embracing my natural hair color this time around, and I will be experimenting with natural ways to lighten. I know that you can do lemon juice, you can do apple cider vinegar, easy on the dye. If you could just completely cut out dye overall, then I would do that. I know that some people maintain healthy hair with dye, but if you know your hair, and now that I understand that my hair, it's overall thick, but I have fine strands, and that is why my hair just can't, it will break with when I put chemicals on it, because the strands themselves are fine. They're not as strong, even though I have a lot of them. So understand your hair as well. Next one is pay attention to the accessories you're using on your locks, aka clips, hair elastics, headbands, all of those things. I know that wearing a headband all the time, if you're working out or just for like fashion purposes, pulling your hair back, that can affect your edges. If you're wearing really, really tight high or low ponytails all the time, that can affect your edges and your crown, pulling tension on those areas. If you have clips that are just too tight, once again, your edges are going to be affected by that. So pay attention and be aware of the tools that you're using to create your desired style. If you can do something a bit more low maintenance, not as tight, I would recommend doing that, because tension itself is just not going to benefit your hair. Me personally, I cannot wear tight styles for a long period of time because I get headaches pretty easily. So even if I wanted to, I just don't like tight styles. I'm a bit more loose, carefree. That's why I did a lot of curls with my first lock set, because curls just make everything look a bit more elevated, a bit more fancy. So, and they can be styled really, really easily, but they look effortless and it looks really pretty. With straight locks, it looks a bit more plain. You kind of have to do a bit more if you really want to dress it up, but with curls, it looks more dressed up. So yeah, just be careful with the tools, your hair accessories you're using. The next one, now I am not a doctor by any means, but just be careful with the medications that you're taking and that you're using. I know that some people have health issues and they have to be on certain medications, but maybe talk to your doctor and see if there is a more natural route to anything that you're taking, because certain medications, now I don't know specifics, but certain medications can affect your hair growth and can also cause breakage. So just be informed about what you're putting into your body. And if you can, try to do something a bit more on the natural route. For example, if you're taking medication for insomnia or having trouble sleeping, try talking to your doctor about a CBD oil. I've heard really good things about CBD oil and how it just relaxes you and puts you to sleep. If your insomnia is not like extreme, there are pillow sprays that you can use that help to put you to sleep. There are, just natural things that can just relax your body, and in turn you'll fall asleep a bit easier. Of course, talk to your doctor, do your own research, and look into possibly some natural remedies for some issues that you're facing. Because sometimes those prescription drugs can be really, really tough on your body, and you don't even realize because maybe you're taking so many or you don't know what the cause is. But just be aware of what you're putting into your body and try to find natural alternatives if you can. Obviously, I know sometimes it's not possible. You do need medication, but if you can, try to find something that's a bit more natural. The next one is pretty textbook, is a satin pillowcase or a bonnet, just to protect your hair from friction. Okay, the last one. This might not be very obvious to everyone because we get caught up in life, but my last tip is just try not to stress. I know that life is stressful, especially right now, but just do little things to ease that stress. It has a very negative effect on the body, which in turn affects the hair, so the skin, Start with small things, like when you get back from work or if you're working from home, once evening comes around, the sun goes down, light a candle, if you're a candle person, of course. That's something that I find to be really, really relaxing, just seeing the flicker of the candle in the corner and the shadows against the wall. I find it just relaxing, and then I dim the lights and it just creates a different atmosphere. The next one is taking a bath or taking a long shower. That can be a really relaxing thing to do that just takes your stress level down. I recommend doing it. Don't just take a quick shower just to take a shower. Really enjoy it. The next one is, if you're into gaming, play a game. I do like to game. I like Sims 4. I haven't really had time, but I do like PS5 games. I would like to get a Nintendo Switch and play Animal Crossing, but I like playing Sims 4 on PC. That to me is just relaxing because I can just zone in. You kind of forget about everything else and you're just focused on improving the lives of your Sims. So if you're a gamer, if you like to play games, even if it's just like a regular mobile game, then go ahead and do that. Even if it's just you set aside 30 minutes or an hour, just play a game if that's what you want to do. Don't think about, you know, if you have laundry to do, put in a load of laundry and then go play a game, okay? Just relax, de-stress. If you're a reader, read a book. I wish I had more time to read, but I do love books, and I have a bunch in my Amazon cart that I want to order and read again. So yeah, grab a book, read a book. Another thing to do to de-stress is put on some lingerie. Make yourself feel better. Don't just put on some baggy clothes and not feel good. Put on some lingerie and just walk around the house. Obviously, like, if you can, you know, like if you have grown kids, that might be a little weird, but if you just have a baby or it's just you and your husband, put on some lingerie or nothing at all. Just be free, walk around the house, do the dishes, and you know, if you're married, that lingerie or lack of lingerie is going to lead to something else, and that's a great de-stressor. So you get what I'm saying? Just enjoy life in the smallest moments. That's very important. And another thing to de-stress is to pray. I don't know how many of you believe in God, but let me tell you something. Having faith in the Father, that He's looking out for you and your home, is the biggest de-stressor that you can ever experience. And praying from the heart, just giving all of your worries, all of your concerns up to the Father, huge de-stressor. And at the same time, you're building your spiritual strength, and you're growing spiritually and connecting with the Creator of the world. So you can never go wrong with praying, even if it's while you're doing something else. While you're doing the dishes, pray. While you're in the shower, pray. While you're doing your skincare routine, pray. Just so many benefits to praying. I think it's extremely underrated in this day and age because everyone is so focused on meditation. Everyone is so focused on mantras, focused on other things, but I guarantee you, prayer is the strongest tool in life that you can ever use, because the Father is always listening, and as a believer, you pray to the Father, you ask for the Father, you trust that He's listening and that He will take care of you. Anything that you ask for, you will receive. That's in the Bible. So just remember prayer. Huge de-stressor. Who knows? It could lead to hair growth. right? So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment below any thoughts that you have. I love to read your comments. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I will definitely see you in my next video. Bye.